Welcome back. Mobile payment services on the rise in the U.S. The number of people using their phones to pay for goods expected to grow nearly 210% this year alone, reaching a transaction total of more than $27 billion. With big names like Venmo and Square, PayPal, Apple Pay, all getting involved in mobile pay industry, the industry continues to become increasingly competitive. How do you stay relevant as a business and at the same time ensure that your user information is safe? Our next guest is a leader in the payment processing business with more than 1 million clients across the world. Joining us right now is Elavon, the North America president, Guy Harris. Guy, good to see you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. So it is the security part of it that is, I guess, one reason more people are not actually, because the convenience obviously is there.
Well, I think security could be one of those things, but there are a number of things going on from a generational perspective as well. So I think it's interesting to look at millennials and their attractiveness towards technology versus the boomers that we and alike are involved
So
in.
compare that. Is that where you're seeing the traction in the millennials?
Well, not only that, if you think about where the spend takes place typically with the boomers, because that's where the money is. Millennials will be the people that spend the most money in 10 years' time. But adoption of technology is the other interesting aspect to it. Millennials are much more comfortable using their mobile phone. And the real battle, I think, that's taking place is between, it went from cash to wallet, now it's wallet to wallet on the phone. And that's the interesting play that we're seeing.
Dagan, you use Apple Pay all the time.
Yeah, the vending machines in my building accept Apple Pay, and so it's just a genius revolution. But because older Americans, they do shop online, they want to make it easier to pay. How are companies doing in getting these older people to use these mobile payment systems? Well,
adoption is the challenge, and when we look at adoption, it's the ability to take your phone and know that whenever you try and use Apple Pay or Samsung or Android, that the person or the merchant that you're going to will actually take that pay. It's nothing worse than pulling your wallet out or a mobile wallet out and saying, do you take Apple Pay? And in my case, they say Apple Pie. and you get that kind of recognition. So if you've got a queue behind you, the last thing you really want to do is to be holding other people up. So knowing it's consistent, your muscle memory, if you really think about it, is that you want to move from having your wallet to having your mobile wallet. And recognition when you go to places, realizing they take it is part of the challenge.
So what kind of expectation do you have over the next, I don't know, call it 3 years in terms of growth?
Well, I think growth in mobile will continue at a pace, but I think we've also got to recognize across the US, the majority of people, as we move from cash to cards, the great thing about mobile is it's a card inside your mobile, which is great for us from a banking perspective, so we remain in the value chain. But we see that growth of the technologies happening, I think, over the next 3 to 5 years as adoption starts to become much clearer. And also, some leaders will start to become available in that mobile space.
It feels real convenient. So.
Yeah, but it will never displace the card, right? Because people lose their phones, you're going to need the card. So I think that's one of the things. But what's fascinating is that this mobile payments has turned into a revolution of social engagement as well. Because you look at some of these apps, you can see what people are paying for, and they have conversations about it.
Yeah, I really want that to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's good. That's personal. But as well as mobile, I think there's also, we've got to recognize that cash, the conversion from cash to cards is still the major play taking place in the US, and that will continue. And the other aspect is security.
Right.
And it's interesting in terms of different people's view of how secure is a payment. And with the breaches that have taken place in the industry, it's important that we focus both on EMV and then the encryption of data, because all these big breaches are going after the data from the card. So we at Elavon are trying to deliver that security technology.
So that specific area is probably where the big growth is, the securing of all of this.
Well, it's security at 2 levels. It's with our big customers, and when the Target incident happened, that drove acceleration of security. But it's also as you walk around with your wallet, as your mobile wallet, knowing that the transaction that's taking place in your phone is actually secure and nobody's going to come in and steal your money. So security becomes much more important than people realize.
For sure. Guy, good to have you on the program today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Guy Harris there.